Today, the global Muslim Ummah numbers over 1 billion people. Yet, on the world stage, this population shatters into dozens of isolated fragments. This global demographic controls vast material wealth and occupies some of the most resource-rich, strategically critical geography on the planet. Despite this immense leverage, these resources are partitioned by dozens of modern borders, keeping the population's collective power in check. These deep divisions are maintained by modern ideologies, nationalism, capitalism, and secularism, which prioritize individual state interests over a shared destiny. The result is a population that appears powerless and isolated in global affairs, even while possessing the numbers and resources to lead. This systemic weakness suggests that the underlying geopolitical framework is no longer functioning as intended. Does Islam limit itself to private spiritual rituals, or does it mandate a public societal structure? Islamic theology presents a Din-e-Kamil, a complete code of life that provides explicit instructions for how a society should be governed. This mandate is found in Surah Al-Ma'idah, verse 44. And whoever does not judge by what Allah has revealed, those are the disbelievers. The verse describes the failure to implement revealed law as a source of injustice and disbelief. Divine law serves as the intended mechanism to unify a diverse population and prevent the fragmentation seen in the modern era. Analyzing the historical mechanics of Islamic governance provides a blueprint for addressing the Ummah's current crisis. While modern borders prioritize division, Surah Al-Imran commands believers to hold firmly to the rope of Allah and remain united. The historical implementation of this unity was the era of the Khulafa al-Rashidun, the 4 rightly guided caliphs. This system is built upon interlocking pillars. The foundation, the Ummah, supports the structure strictly under the canopy of divine law. The first pillar is Shura, requiring leaders to seek public input. The second is Adl, or justice, protecting the vulnerable against the powerful. The third is accountability. The leader is subject to the same rules as the citizens, with no legal immunity. The Khilafah is defined by these rigid limits on human power, distinguishing it from both historical monarchies and modern dictatorships. Compare this structure to secular models. On the left, the legal boundary is fluid. On the right, under Sharia, it is rigid. In systems where men create laws, wealthy elites can warp the law, creating loopholes. Under the Islamic model, the foundational framework remains fixed. It cannot be altered by wealth or status, providing a barrier that prevents the law from being bought. This rigidity limits the ability of human elites to legislate in their own favor, ensuring that justice is not a negotiable commodity. By adopting secular models, many nations traded a fixed legal framework for a malleable one, often removing the systemic barriers that were designed to block corruption and inequality. The current struggles of the Ummah are a consequence of moving away from these foundational principles. When the foundation of trust and justice erodes, the entire social structure begins to crack, regardless of how modern it may appear. No society can sustain itself if its institutions are devoid of a shared commitment to justice. Lasting success requires returning the Qur'an and Sunnah to the center of both individual and collective life. For the individual, this path begins with the pursuit of ilm, knowledge, and the development of taqwa, or moral character. Collectively, it requires looking past arbitrary differences to rebuild the unified strength that once defined the Ummah. May Allah grant us the strength to hold fast to the Qur'an and Sunnah, to avoid differences, and to become a source of goodness for the world. Ameen.